today we're going to be looking at index and match, which is another way to look up data. And then we're going to look at XlookUp. Let me make sure I have XLOOK. Oh no, I don't have XLOOKUp. Okay. We'll look at index and match. I want to do XLOOKUP with you. Unfortunately, on this my version of Excel, we don't have XLOOKUP. So maybe if someone has a newer version, we can use your screen for that. Index and match is just another way to look up. But instead of using VLOOKUP, one function, we're going to use two functions. We're going to use the index function, and we're going to use the match function. So there are two functions that we're going to combine together. And it's just we're also just going to look it up. If you remember, when we did VLOOKUP, we discussed that you can only look up items to your right. Do you remember when we did VLOOKUP that you cannot, because you're only counting to your right? Can I just check that we remember VLOOKUP, please?
Yes.
Okay. And you know that when we do VLOOKUP, like when we did the first name equal to VLOOKUP, and we pick our lookup value, comma, and we select the table, comma. For the first name, we pick the third column, right? And comma false. Comma false. What happens if this first name on this table, if it's here? If the first name is here, for instance, I'm just going to copy the first name. Control X. If the first name is here, how do we use it? Can we use a VLOOKUP for this? If the first name is the first one, let's try it and see if it works. Equal to VLOOKUP. We are looking up employee ID, comma. If we do this, comma, and pick the first column, comma, false, it's not going to work. Because one, anything you're looking up has to be on the first column of the table you're looking it up from. So if you look at this, I look up value, this is the employee ID. On this table, employee ID is in the second column. It would only work if you start your selection from the second column. That's the only way your VLOOKUP would work. And then you look it up to the right. And because that is not the case on this table, then we can't use VLOOKUP for this. And it becomes a problem. If it's, well, this is the small data, so you can just easily copy it and put it on the right, on the right. But if it's a large data and you can't actually change that data, what do you use?
I don't know. Sorry, please. I don't know if the file that was sent on the Telegram is what you are using. I think it's unprotected file and it's not opening.
The file we're using today was one we used last week. So we haven't started on the one that was sent today.
I don't know what's happening. I can access the one that you sent today, but I don't know why you can't access them.
Okay, that's strange. Let's see. For some reason, why can I only chat with you? I can't chat with the rest of the class. Is there something? Did something change?
Yeah, you have to make you co-host for you to do that, I think.
Oh, okay. I thought I was already co-host. So
No,
if I can chat with the rest of the class, then I can drop, they'll be able to see my messages. Are you able to make me co-host? Even when you're not co-host, you should still be able to send messages to everyone.
I don't know how to make you co-host.
Okay. Because even if I'm not okay, yeah, let me see. Let me talk to the admin. So to do a VLOOKUP, you have to look up to the right. And if we have our first name here, I'm just going to redo what I did the last time. And then it becomes a problem to do a VLOOKUP because what we are looking up is not on the right one. And then we're not starting with our lookup value on the table. So when we select the table, your lookup value has to be on the first column. So the way to go about this is to use an index and match. And the first thing we need to do is, I'm just going to do index and match here. Match will find the position of the item we're looking at. And then index will bring it in from whatever column we wanted to bring it in from. So we're going to start with match. We're looking up employee ID in cell J4. So we want to find the position of this employee ID on this table, on the table on the left. And we're going to use a match function to find that. So it's going to be equal to match, comma, we'll pick our lookup value, comma, it's going to ask us, where do we want to look this up? We'll pick a column, comma, and we want an exact match. Exact match in this case is 0. 0, close the brackets, enter. So what this is telling us that number we're looking for, that employee ID we're looking for, is in position 14 on this table. If we count where this 99678 is, we'll find out that it's on 14. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So is in row 14 of that table. I'm going to do that again. So the formula is equal to match. Then you open a bracket. It's asking you for your lookup value, just the way VLOOKUP asks you for your lookup value. Our lookup value is in J4. And then, comma, is asking us, where do we want to look this up? We're just looking it up here. And then, comma, and it wants to know if you want a less than match, an exact match, or a greater than match. We want an exact match. So we'll put 0 and close the bracket and enter. And that is match. Is that clear? Index. Index, on the other hand, you're going to use index to find whatever is on columns beside anything that is on position 14. So we'll find the position first, and then we use index to bring in whatever column we want to bring in for that position. So anything around it, anything beside it that we want to bring in, that is what we use index for. So index, it would be equal to index, comma, and it wants to know our table. That is our table, comma, and it wants to know the row number. What is the row of what you are bringing in? We know that the row is 14 because we've already done a match to identify that it is 14. So I will start by putting 14 in, and then we'll now go into combining these two formulas to give us what we want. So I'll do 14, comma, and then it says row number. What row number do we want to bring in? In this case, we want row 1. Column number, sorry. We want column 1. Column 1, and close the brackets. And then our first name, we know that this is Brad. Brad is the first name that we're looking for. I'll do that again. So they are both very similar to VLOOKUP. It's just what you pick. Index, open a bracket, select your table array, comma, put your row number, look for row 14 on this table, comma, and return whatever is on column 1, which is the first name, and close the bracket and enter. And that is Brad.
Sorry, Kevin, quick one. I noticed that when we are doing the VLOOKUP, we selected the entire table plus the heading.
I can select the entire table. Let's select the entire table.
Okay.
Just make sure you select the entire table for both of them. No, yeah. So that's now number 15. So once you select the entire table for both of them.
Okay, so that
so you
means
can select the entire table.
That means when we are doing match, you must select the entire table.
It doesn't really, if you select the entire table for match, you have to select the entire table for index.
Okay. Okay.
But we are going to be combining these two formulas into one. Because I selected the entire table, then the row of that number moved to 15. Because I've selected this row with it. So it's now 15. So it counts from there, from the employee ID all the way down. So it's now 15, which is why I've changed my row number here to 15. So you can select, as long as you just select, because you're counting, your match is counting the number of rows. So make sure that whatever you selected for your match is what you select for your index.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there will be a mismatch.
Okay.
So I have my match, I have my index. Okay. So what I need to do now is to combine these two formulas into one. And if you notice that this is my 15, can you see where my 15 is? That 15, I'm going to replace this 15 with my match formula. And that is how you combine the two, because my match formula is what is giving me that 15. So I'm going to replace the 15 with my match formula. So if I start with, I'm going to start with index, because the match is going to be just in between the index. So it will be equal to index, open a bracket, we select our table, that's an array, comma, and then it's asking us to put the row number. And we know that our row number is the match. We use the match formula to get the row number. Then we now, from this point, we now do our match formula. So it's going to be match, open a bracket, we're matching this, comma, and this is a selection, comma, exact match, and then close the bracket. And once we put a comma, you're back to your index formula, and we need to put the column we want it to return, and then column 1, and close the bracket and enter. So what we have effectively done, if you look at this and if you look at this here and look at this 15 here is what we have replaced with this match here. And that match is this. So you can even actually, if you are starting out, you can actually do the formula in 2 different places and copy it in. So for instance, if we're starting out, I have my Brad here and I want to replace this 15 with my match. I can copy this here, copy that formula, and then go into Brad and replace this 15 with that formula and enter. So if it's confusing, if you cannot do it together, you can do a match and then do your index and then copy it in. Is that clear?
Yes, yes.
So can we do this? Can we do it together here? No. We're going to do for first name, we're going to do for last name. Who's going to help us? Let's try it again. Okay?
Yeah, yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
Yeah.
So are we doing it in 2 different places or just we are starting like that?
Do you want to do it in 2 different places? Let's do it in 2 so that you understand, what you need to do to get to the combined one.
Okay.
So let's do it in 2 different places. We can do it. Okay.
So we are going to start with match.
Okay, let's start with match.
Equal to match.
So equal to match.
Yeah. Open bracket.
Open bracket.
Then the lookup value, which is 9906.
You want to look up this, okay?
Yeah.
Should we look up another one?
Okay, any other one?
Okay, let's do this.
Okay. Then we'll pick the ID row.
Comma.
The ID column.
Comma.
The lookup array, the ID column.
Yeah, the ID column, okay.
Then comma.
Comma.
Then 0 because it's exact value.
Exact value.
Then
okay.
Close bracket.
And that's 16. So we'll pick this. And yeah, so that is 16. Okay.
Yes. So since we have done that, can we just go to the space of, so we just do it straight the index and just do it once.
You want to do the index one? Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
So the index.
Yeah.
Equal to index, right? Index. Open bracket.
Open bracket.
Okay, so the array will look the column that we are getting the value from, I think.
The array is a table.
Sorry, the table. The table.
Yeah. Okay.
Then comma. Then should we put the match now?
Yeah, let's put the match. Match
equal to.
Match equal to.
Yeah, open bracket.
Open bracket.
Sorry,
not equal to.
not equal to open bracket.
Yeah.
Open bracket. Then we use 77, have you?
Yeah.
Yes. So 77.
Okay.
Comma.
Comma.
The column from employee ID.
Column from employee ID. Okay.
Then comma.
Comma.
0.
0.
Close bracket.
Close the bracket.
Then comma.
Comma.
Now the column what's the okay, yeah. So where the last name is, the column where the first name is, that's 1, I think.
That's 1, yeah.
Yeah. So one close bracket.
1 close bracket. Brilliant. So we have Serena Williams is 77569. So it's straightforward, isn't it? As long as make sure your selection is right. And then as long as once you put anything you put your comma, then it prompts you. So you're able to see what it is expecting you to put in next.
Yeah.
Okay? Is that clear?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So I wanted us to look at XLOOKUP. XLOOKUP, so we've done VLOOKUP, we've done HLOOKUP,
Yeah.
where we always have to like put, column numbers and, VLOOKUP, you have to count the columns to the right. Even index and match, you still have to like know what column, put the number of the column you expect it to bring for you. And actually done, I think the XLOOKUP is actually pretty new because I don't have it on this Excel version.
No, I have it on mine.
You have it on yours, okay,
Yeah.
brilliant. So what XLOOKUP has just taken off all the limitations of this VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP. So all you need to do is your lookup value, you just pick the column you're looking up. Do you want to share your screen?
Okay. Okay.
Right. So let's do. So on the first name, if you go to maybe 024, let's bring in the first name from
024.
Anywhere really. Yeah, I mean cell 024, so that we can bring the first name here from the table.
I don't know what you mean. Okay, okay.
Cell, the cell.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that we can bring it. Yeah, I'm just looking at the the blank. No.
Okay.
Have you
Yeah.
started typing? Okay. So what XLOOKUP does is, you start with your equal to XLOOKUP. And you open a bracket. And of course, it will ask you for your lookup value, which is the employee ID. And then you put a comma. And then it asks you for your table. So if you select the table, comma, and then wherever you want it to return from, if you select that column, which is column D here, and close the bracket, and enter. No, what's happening? What's the? Let's see. Let's go to the dialog box.
Okay.
No. If you click the FX at the top, yeah, let's see what we're doing wrong. Okay, so that's our lookup value, and our array is so our array
D3 to D20.
let's do array should be let's do B3 to B20.
Yeah.
Let's try B3 to B20. You can just change it in the box.
Yeah.
Yeah, to B3 to B20. So that D, if you change it to B, and let's do okay. Yeah. So we only need to select, where you're the column you're looking up.
Okay, so the row, like just select the top.
Yeah, so just select, yeah. So wherever because we're looking up employee ID. So we start with the lookup value of employee ID, and then we look up, the same way we did the match that we only selected the employee ID.
Yeah.
So we'll select the employee ID and comma, and then you select the column you want it to bring the information from.
Should I do that of
last name? Yeah, okay. Let's do that.
So equal to
XLOOKUP.
XLOOKUP. open bracket, then the lookup value,
Yeah.
which is this, then a comma, then we should just pick the.
No, you just pick the B, where you're looking up. So that would be no B. That would
Okay,
be
just
B3 to
oh, okay,
B20.
okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Mama.
And
Now,
then whatever column you want it to return, that's what you select now.
last name.
Last name, yeah.
Then close bracket.
And then close the brackets.
Okay.
And that is it. So this takes away, you don't have to like start counting how many columns, having to start with your lookup value in the first column. This takes away everything. And if you don't have, this is only, what version of Excel are you on? I don't know what year this started.
I really can't tell. Like I just
Okay.
how do I check it now?
Mm.
I think it's the
Okay.
this is the latest my school is offering.
Okay. So like the laptop I'm using, I don't have it, but I have it on my other laptop.
Okay.
So if you don't have it, that means you are using an older version of Excel. There are so many other formulas on the new version now that are not on the older version. I think they're trying to force us all to upgrade. Thanks, Ayo. So is that clear? I hope that is clear. That's pretty straightforward, right? For the XLOOKUP. So really with the XLOOKUP, you really have no reason to use like a VLOOKUP or index and match anymore, really, because XLOOKUP just takes away all the limitations of VLOOKUP and index and match.
Yeah, but I'm going to ask something. You know, in the when you were doing when we did the VLOOKUP,
Yeah.
you know, we extended the value down. So in this case, that means we have to also put the dollar sign to make
Yeah,
them.
you also have to, yeah. If you're gonna drag it down,
Okay.
then you also, do you want to try that?
Okay. Let me share my screen again then.
Okay. So in this case, we need to like determine what do we really want to freeze. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm thinking we are going to freeze the employee ID because it's on the same row. I'm sorry, same column.
It's on the same column. So we're going to freeze the column and not the row.
No. So
yeah, so that would be $1 in front of the column.
am I going to I don't know, am I going to put the dollar in front of the 24?
No, because if you freeze the row, then when you drag it down, then it won't move. It won't move to the year.
Yeah.
So we know that it will always is on M, so we just need to freeze the column.
Okay. So now this is the lookup array. So that one we are going to freeze both.
Yeah, right? We're going to freeze both because we only want the employee ID to look up that column, that employee ID column. So you're going to freeze both. Yeah. You're actually going to freeze the B and freeze the 3, which is both the row and the column.
Yeah. So for the last value, which is the return, I think that one is going to remain the same. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have you for the one you are returning, the column will be fine. The column needs to be frozen, but you need no. You need to freeze the rows so that it doesn't move. We're going to be moving the column around.
Okay,
so you don't want the rows to move.
Right. So that means we are going to be freezing D20.
No, you're going to freeze 20. So you're going to leave the D and freeze 20. So you freeze 20 and you freeze 3.
Okay, yeah.
And that's freezing the rows.
Okay.
And the ones before, you need to freeze both the row and the column.
Yeah, that one. So am I going to put the
dollar sign
in front of the 20 also?
Yes, in front of the 20 and in front of the 3.
Okay.
Because we don't want that to move, because we are only going to be, your lookup is only going to be referencing those cells, B3 to B20.
Okay.
And yeah, and enter.
Yes.
Thank you. So that's okay now.
Yeah, enter, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you drag it to last name.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you drag it to last name, if you drag the Brad to the P, you just drag it over the P. No, before you.
Sorry.
Yeah. So if you do one first, because you need to move the column. Don't forget that we're referencing first name here.
Yes. So
if you drag
okay.
it, yeah, and then click there, and then just move that purple box.
Sorry.
You just need to drag that purple box to last name. Yeah. And enter. And then you can then drag it down.
Okay. Thank you.
And you can do the other ones too by dragging them to the other table where you have the city and the states.
Yeah. Do you want me to do that?
Yeah, you can do that. Yes. So when you go no, before you drag it, you can actually just move it. So move to the.
How do I do that?
So click back. Okay. You need to move your cursor to the selection. So the selection, no, not the formula bar. Go to the you know your red selection.
Red selection.
Yeah. Column B, in column B.
Okay, this?
Not on the formula bar,
Okay.
On the table itself.
Okay. So this.
No, that's where we're going, or where we're coming from is where I want your cursor to be.
Oh yeah.
No. Column B, B for
B.
ball.
Okay, B.
Yeah, okay. So just go up a bit. I want your cursor to change. I want to see that cross with 2. Yeah. Now press your mouse.
Okay.
And move that. Yeah, that's how you move.
Okay.
So do the same for that and move it to. So we're going to city here, and enter. And that's it. That's how you move it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
And if you do states as well. And because the state is just right beside you, so it worked. So you don't need to. You don't need to move anything.
Yeah. I don't need to. I don't need to.
Yeah. It was because the last name is not right beside. That was how we had to do the other one.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Evening.
Yes, but now can we? You know.
Question kind of completely different from the answer. So I was wondering. What's the bulk cycle?
So I was going to ask.
Let's try the pay band.
Yeah, for the band, we put what do you call it? For that one we were saying
well, we use a true. Yeah, we use true when we did VLOOKUP.
Yeah.
Let's try XLOOKUP. XLOOKUP defaults to like exact match.
Okay.
So let's but in this case we're using the pay.
Yeah.
So let's you can also drag it actually.
Okay.
So if you click on it, if you click up, so what we are looking at first is not the employee ID.
No.
Is the pay.
Yeah.
The pay is what we're looking at. So if you drag the pay there, okay, and our lookup value goes to that table, the pay band table, and if you just reduce that, okay, and then the purple goes to the pay band, and then let's reduce this, and then we need to, because it defaults to exact match. If you do enter first, let's do enter. So because it defaults to exact match, it won't find an exact match. So let's look at it. Let's open the function box and see. If not found, If you click if not found, if you click on if not found, let's go to match mode and see if we'll match, if you can match it. Specify how to match lookup value against the values in lookup. I'm not sure.
There is a search mode. I don't know.
Yeah, this by default. If okay, the search mode is, when it's searching. Search mode is when you have like when you have like a duplicate.
Okay.
No VLOOKUP starts from the top and searches down, and once it finds the first match, then it's fine. The search mode is it defaults to top to bottom, but you can change it to last to first or something like that.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if you would do this, but I'll definitely look into it and see if how it brings in like the closest match.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. If you click on if not found again. By default, an exact match is used, but if
not, return no match is found.
If not found, returned if no match is found. Okay. If you do a cancel here, if you cancel this, the box, if you click in the formula bar, let's see if it will prompt us with. Yeah, if you put a comma, let's put a comma. If not found, match mode. No, I'll look into it and see how it can. Maybe it just only brings in the exact match.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because to bring in a paper, it has to be closest match, because it's not going to find this pay. So it's just looking for something close to it. But I'll check that and see how it will bring in like something that is not an exact match.
So I'll stop sharing now.
Yes, okay. Thanks, Ayo.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
I think we can go to let's go to the practice the if functions. Number 6, practice data for if functions. I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, so you should all have this data. And if function, sometimes you might want to use if, especially when your data is not unique, like when you can't use like VLOOKUP. So for instance, your data is not unique, and you know that if you use VLOOKUP, it's only going to bring in just the first data it finds. So you can use if functions to bring in data as well. And you can use like sum if and count if. So we're gonna get to that on the next tab. So what your if does is it's just a logical statement to say if this situation, if this data satisfies this situation, do this, otherwise do something else. So you can literally tell it what to do if that situation is there. So for instance, this is a simple data with kids' names and their ages. And the instruction is that Santa Claus gives kids Christmas gifts, but only if they are younger than 10. So we want to use our if function to check who is eligible for Christmas gifts this year. And if they are eligible, return yes. And if not eligible, no. So these are the ages, and we know that Santa Claus will only give gifts to them if they're under 10. So we need to write a statement here to check if the age is younger than 10. And if they're younger than 10, we can say yes. If not, no. So we use an if statement for that. So equal to if, and it checks whether a condition is met. So if, open a bracket, what is going to be our test? We're looking at this age. It will be if this is less than 10. Less than 10. So if that cell, if whatever you find in that cell is less than 10, say yes. Otherwise, it's a no. And close the bracket. So you start with if, you put your statement, your condition there, and you put whatever you want it to do if the condition is true, or what you want it to do if the condition is false, and enter. And then it brings yes. You can also use a dialog box for this, equal to if, open a bracket, and now we just open my function argument. And my logical test is this has to be less than 10. So by the side, you will see true because that it satisfies that condition. And then the next box is value if true. If this is true, what do you want me to do? So if it's true, I want you to bring in yes. If it is false, I want you to bring in no and okay. And if you drag this down, you will see that Jim is 14 and Jim is a no. Sarah is 15, that's a no. Kim is 10 and is a no because we want them less than 10. Is this clear?
Yes. How do you if you are going if it is either less than or equal to?
We're going to use the and function.
Okay.
So it would be equal to and we're gonna oh no, let's use or. Use my escape. So or, if we look at or, logical one. So I'm going to say this is less than 10, or this is equal to 10. So I'm going to use or, and then I will now add my if function. If that is true, yes, comma, no, I have to put it in, otherwise it won't work. So because you have two conditions that it's either this or this.
Yeah.
So you need to combine it with or. If you want two conditions of two or more conditions to be satisfied, you have to use and. So it's going to check, it checked C8, it checked that C8 is less than 10 or C8 is equal to 10. So either of those two, you're happy with it. So if either of those two conditions are there, then it's a true. Then yes. Otherwise, it's a no.
Okay.
Is that clear?
Yeah, let me just try it and
okay.
This minute.
So you can try with the or first, and then you add it to your if function. A bit like the way we did index and match.
Yeah. So okay.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, almost done.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Did you get it?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
So the next tab, we're going to look at different ifs, different ways we can use ifs. And this is, you're more likely to use this like when you want to like bring in data and add it all up. So I've got a table here of a city, footballer, favorite color, and their income in millions. And the first thing we're going to do is the sum if. And it's literally sum if this condition is met. The same way we did the if this condition is met, do this, otherwise do something else. So we're saying the first question is, what's the total income of all footballers who like the color red? So we want to add up all the income of all the footballers who like the color red. You can see that a couple of people like the color red here.
Yeah.
Okay. And what we're going to use is a sum if. So if we start with equal to sum if. So we're saying sum it if this condition is met. So when we start at sum if, you open a bracket and it asks you for the range. That is, what's the range for your criteria? Our criteria here is red. And our range for criteria is where the favorite color is.
Yeah.
Which is, you can either select with heading or not, it doesn't really matter. So if we select this, that is our range. That is where we want to check for our criteria. So we have that, then comma, then it's going to ask us, what is your criteria? My criteria is red here. So I've selected my red, comma, and then it's going to ask me, what do you want to sum? If this criteria, if this condition is met, what is your sum range? Then I will select my sum range here. This is what I want to add together, and then close the brackets and enter. I've got 194. Let's check if this is correct. Equal to this.
7
Plus this.
plus 23
plus this,
plus 69.
Plus this.
Yeah.
Plus this. That's 194.
Yeah.
I always suggest that anytime you do a formula in Excel, like when you're working with spreadsheets, always make sure you have some checks in place, just to make sure that you are checking that your formula, you haven't skipped anything and your formula is speaking correctly. It might be like, checking sums and stuff, and just making sure that if the sum here is equal to the sum here, then you know it's true or false. It's always good to build that in. So that's sum if. Is that clear?
Yes.
Let's try it with the dialog box, the function box. So I'm going to equal to sum if. I'll open a bracket. Let's use the box here. So the first thing is asking us what is the range. What is the range for our criteria? We're looking for the colors. That's our criteria. And our criteria is red by the side here. And then what is the sum range? This is the sum.
Income.
And then, the income. And then, okay. And that is it. It's very, very simple and straightforward. So what if we have two criteria?
Okay.
And it needs to satisfy two. So in this case, we want the footballer to have red as their favorite color, and their city.
Yeah. Can we use all
city,
for that?
yeah. We can use or, yeah. No, we can't use or.
Okay.
It has to be and. We have to
Okay.
use and because we need both conditions satisfied. So it would be and.
Okay.
But instead of using that, we can just do some ifs.
Okay.
I'm skipping. So we use some ifs for that. So when
Okay.
you have more than one condition, you can literally have some ifs for like loads and loads of conditions.
Okay.
It will keep asking you, what else? What else do you need to, what condition do you need to satisfy for me to add? So let's start with, we're going to use a box. So equal to some ifs. So once you put some ifs, it knows that your condition is more than one. Some if is just one condition. So let's open, I'm going to open the dialog box. So this is some if. The sum, and what some if does is, when we did some if, we picked our sum range was the last because there's just one condition, one criteria. So
Yes.
just one criteria, what the criteria is, and the sum. The sum was the last. But for some ifs, because the criteria can be long, it starts with the sum. So the first thing we put is the sum range. And then we select the sum range here. I'm going to select the sum range. Okay. And my criteria range 1, let's start with color. And what's my criteria 1? It's red here. And once you do criteria 1, it gives you another box for range 2 because you can put as many as, I don't know what the limit is. I don't know how many conditions you can put in. Our criteria range 2 is city. So we want footballers living in Paris. So this is our second range, is in the city, And our criteria 2 is Paris. And okay. And if we count the number of people who like red and who live in Paris, so that's Paris and red. This is Paris and red. That's Paris and red. That's Paris and red. The sum is 110.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And the third one is just like it, count if. So instead of summing, if the condition is met, this is just counting. And it's just like the sum. But instead of sum, we're counting this. So it's equal to count if, open a bracket, what is our range and what's the criteria? So our range is
favorite color.
Color, yeah. So our range is still color.
The criteria yellow.
And the criteria is yellow. Enter. And there are only 4 people who like yellow.
Yeah.
Let me take all these colors off. So we have 4 people who like yellow. And the second one is count ifs. Equal to count ifs. Open a bracket. And then what's the criteria range 1? We can start with the color.
Color.
So color, comma,
yellow.
And we want yellow, comma. And then
The
we need to put
is city.
the city, that's a criteria range 2, city, comma.
California.
And it's California. And then we close the bracket. And it's just one person who lives in California and likes the color yellow. Yeah, just one person. Is that clear?
Yes.
Average if is just like the other ones. Instead of using count or sum, we use average if. So we have a city here. We want to find the average income, average yearly income in London. Equal to average if, open a bracket. Our range is city, which is here. Our criteria is London, here, comma. And what do we want to find the average of? Is that yearly income? And we close the brackets. And our average in London is 72.33. And if you check that average in London, it would actually be, if you do average of this, comma, this, comma, this, is 72.33. And I think we did if error was it last week? I'm not sure when we did that. Okay.
Did we?
And if error is also another if function.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is that if there's an error,
okay,
do this. So replace it with something.
Yeah.
So if there's an error, so these are outputs. And we're saying what we've been asked to do is use if error to check each cells. In case of an error, return the word error. So it would be equal to if error, open a bracket, select the cell, comma, if it's an error, just bring in the word error and enter. A lot of the time, you will combine your if error with your other formulas. So that if there's an error, you can either maybe bring a blank or bring 0, or bring in whatever you want it to bring. But you have to be really careful with using if error. Otherwise, it might actually cover up errors in the formula.
So you have to test the formula first before using it.
Yeah, test the formula first before you use it. Otherwise, it will just cover things up and you wouldn't know. So this, when there's an error, it brought in error because we've asked to bring in error. And if there's no error, then it will bring in the number. There's always, if error is really a good formula to use, you just use it with caution because sometimes it can be quite messy if you have all these errors and you can't add things up because one shows an error. So it will just, it messes up your formula because you won't be able to use that cell for anything. Okay. So that is if briefly. I think we have let me know if we need to go over anything and then we can go over it again. Let's see. Let's do I'm gonna open up the last data I said.
Okay.
Which is the so these are text functions and others. So text functions are functions that has to do with a lot of the time like formatting, when you have to format your data and tidy up your data. So a lot of the times, you get data from from the system and it's like in CSV format and you need to like do a lot of tidying up for your formula to work. Especially like VLOOKUP, if it's not the exact format, it might not find it. So I have some commonly used text functions here, that are very useful in day-to-day data analysis. And I've got a left function here. So what the left function does is it can bring in information, it can count, it will count the number of items you have in the cell and bring in information from the left. So the way to use this is, so I have this text here, and I want to bring in Royal. I want to put Royal here. I will use the left function, which will be equal to left. I'll open a bracket. So it's going to ask me to put in the text. What text am I counting, or what text do I want to bring this information from? I'll click on this and then comma. And because I want to bring in Royal has 5 characters. So I'll just put 5 here and close my brackets and enter. And what I have here is Royal.
What if there are two characters there that have like if there are 2 words there that have the same amount of character?
No, it's not. It's not the number of characters I'm bringing in now. It's just counting 5 characters to the left. So if I make this 3, for instance, it will bring in Roy. So it's not looking for. So it's not looking for something with 5 characters. It's just like it starts from the left, and it counts the number of characters you want to bring in.
Okay.
So it's just counting whatever the number of cells, that you've asked it to bring in. So if for instance, if I put 9 here, it just counts 9.
Yeah,
brings it in.
Yeah.
And the opposite of that is right. So right will count from the right, left will count from the left. So if for right, if I put in equal to right, open a bracket, click on this, comma, 12. It starts from the left and counts 12 and brings it in.
Okay.
So I change this to 5. It brings the last 5 characters. And even when you have space and everything, it counts your space as a character and then brings it in. So what if we want to bring characters from the middle? How do we do that?
As we're equal to mid.
Yeah, we use the mid. So the mid is just slightly different. Equal to mid. Open a bracket. We click on the text, comma. Because you're starting from the middle, it needs to know where you want to start from. So you need to put what number you want it to start counting from. In this case, I want it to bring in 1, 2, 3. So I want it to start counting 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. I want it to start from character 8, comma, and bring in 3 characters after that, and enter. And then I have 1, 2, 3. So you have to count where you have to tell it where you want it to start counting from and the number of characters you want it to bring in. That's the difference. If you want to know the length of these characters, so maybe you have like a system that you're transferring data to, and there's character limit on that system. There's a number of, the fields have limited characters, and you want to check the number of characters you have in your data before you transfer it in, so that it doesn't cut anything off. You can use the length len to check the number of characters you have in the cell. So it will be equal to len, and click on it and enter. and we have 20 characters here. So if you have like a system that you want to transfer this data, this particular data into, and the field is only limited to 15 characters, you know that it's going to cut something off. And for you to have control of what it cuts off, you might want to reduce your characters yourself before you transfer it to the system. So that it doesn't just cut probably the last 5 characters out. Maybe the last 5 characters hold important information. Okay. Can we try this on the second cell? The left, the mid, the right, the left.
Yeah, so equals to left.
Okay, what are we bringing in here?
Maybe we should bring in you are
Okay.
or you or just
Okay, if you're
so comma
come on.
that would be 7 because we have a space in between.
Okay, so you want to bring in 7. Enter. So that's your yeah. If we want to do mid, I'm bringing.
So can I try?
Yes, please.
So equals to mid. Then you select the cell.
We open a bracket first.
We open a bracket first.
Yeah.
And then we select the cell.
Okay.
And then we start counting.
We have to put a comma. We're missing a comma. Otherwise, it won't work.
Okay, we'll put a comma.
Comma.
And then we start counting where we want it to bring it in.
What do you want to bring in?
Just R.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, 4 from the 4th or from the 5th?
If you start from the 4, then you are bringing in the space because that's the 4th. Okay, so if you just then from the 5th character.
And then comma. And 3.
And 3. Now we close the brackets and enter. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you help us with right as well?
Okay, so equals to.
Equal to.
Right.
Right.
Open bracket.
Open bracket.
Now we look at the text. I want to bring in beautiful.
Okay.
So you count from the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 9 letters.
Yeah, don't forget your comma.
A comma, 9.
9.
And then you close the bracket.
Close the brackets. Enter.
Yeah.
And then to count the length of this character, the characters in the cell, how do we do that?
Equals to.
Equal to.
LEN. And B5.
Are we missing something?
I'm not sure.
We haven't opened a bracket, so we need to open a bracket first.
Let me open bracket B5.
And B5. And enter. We've got 17 characters. Thank you. Okay, the next set of functions are proper, upper, and lower. And proper is, you have this, proper nouns like the first letter starts with a capital letter, and the other letters are small letters. So if you have like a data that you're trying to clean up, and the names are all like maybe small letters, and you want it to be, in a proper form, And you want the first name to start with a capital, and then the others to be small letters. You use the function proper. So I've mixed these characters here up with a mix of capital and upper and lower case. So to use proper, it would be equal to proper, open a bracket, click on the text, close the bracket, enter. It's that simple. Can you see what it has done? So it turns it to like a proper, well, with the first letter in uppercase and the other letters in lowercase. If you have items in lower cases and you want to change everything to upper, or you have upper cases and you want to change everything to lower, you use the upper or the lower formula. And it's also as simple as the proper is equal to upper, open a bracket, click on the item, close the bracket, enter. Lower is the same, equal to lower. You want to change everything to lowercase, enter. And this is so useful. I remember a while ago, when I didn't know these functions, I literally would have to, I go to Word to actually convert my item. You know, there's a function in Word that you can click. So I used to like copy my things to Word to convert it until I knew this formula to use. So it can be really good, especially when you have, you know, lots of data. You can just convert it to any case you want and then just...
Okay, because I wanted to ask if all these formulas can be applicable for a whole data, not just roles.
It can be applicable for as all you need to do is just just drag it down.
Yeah,
so if you have a whole column that has all these words, like all you need to do is just apply the formula and drag it all the way down.
Okay.
And then I'll just copy and overwrite the data.
Thank you. Yeah.
So that's proper, upper, and lower. And then also two other formulas that are they're quite key, especially when you're looking up. You know, sometimes when you download data, you have some unnecessary spaces in between. And when those spaces are there, because they are seen as characters, if you are doing a lookup to look at this grade, for instance, it has some characters there, and you have grades, and you do a VLOOKUP to look at a table with this grade, and you don't find it. It's because there are some unnecessary characters there, and it is not seeing it as the same. So it's good to you can use the trim function to actually take out any unnecessary characters. And sometimes, you know, the clean as well is similar, but I use more of the trim because trim will take off, if you have like double spaces, it will clean it up for you. And if you look at this grid, I have spaces in between before it. If I do trim, equal to trim, if you open a bracket and select this cell and enter, it would remove any unnecessary space that is there. It will remove it. And it can be quite, you know, useful, especially when you have, you know, large amounts of data and your VLOOKUP are just not picking up what it should pick up. So it might be because, you know, when you download data from different systems, it comes in different forms. So you can just trim your data and clean it up to ensure that, you know, you are looking at the same thing. Clean works the same way. Clean apparently just cleans out, you know, there are some unprintable characters that you might not even know is there. So you can use clean to take it out. And it works the same way, equal to clean the text and enter. So clean will take out any unusual, unprintable characters, and trim will take out any extra space. If it's just one space, it will keep one space, So it will not take out all your spaces. So for instance, if we drag it down to Magic Cap, Magic Cap has 2 spaces in between. So it's taking off one. How many spaces does it have? 2, 3. It has 3 spaces between. It has taken off 2 and has left 1. So clean takes out unprintable characters. Trim will take out any unnecessary space. So that what you're looking at, you're able to compare like with like. It's very good when you have VLOOKUPs and they are not matching. Now you know that the item is there, but it's just not finding it because it does not recognize it as the same.
Okay, can we add maybe some of the printable characters in this example? Let's see how the clean works with it, please.
Sometimes you can't see the unprintable characters.
Okay.
So you might not, let's see, well, I don't think I have a character that is unprintable.
I think other.
No, sometimes you won't see the unprintable characters. Yeah, because so sometimes you might not see the unprintable character. You just realize that, your lookup is just not finding it. And you can see that that item is there and it's not finding it. So you might need to like clean the data and then trim the data. And then you know that you're working with clean data. I have some email addresses there. And we need to pull out the first name using one of these no, before we do that, let's do find and search and substitute. Before we get to this, let's do find. So find is just usually used to find the position of an item. So if you want to find, for instance, if you want to find, this is where we're finding it. Let's find is in this. Let's find is starting with okay, let's use a dialog box. So find text. Oh, I've done it the other way around. So find text is within text this. Okay. So what I've done is I've tried to I'm finding a text within a cell. So what it's doing is it's going to find the position of that text and bring it in. If we look at is here, if we count the tiger is fierce, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is starts from 11. So that is where it's found. It will bring me the position of is here. If you remember, when we did mid, we needed to find where it's going to start. So we can actually use a combination of find and mid to find that start position for whatever we are looking for. So what we've done is we've used find to find the position of is in this cell. And we can also use a search. Search to find store. So find text is within text this. Okay. So find and search actually does the same thing. really. So you can do a search, you can do search, you can use find. To substitute, you can actually use substitute to like change something. So if we do equal to substitute, open a bracket. If we want to substitute, for instance, within this text here, if I want to change, this sentence to the tigers are fierce, I want to find our is, and I want to change it to RS and okay. So I've changed that is. So I've just picked R space IS and I've substituted it and I've changed that to RS space ARE. So it's literally just looking for something and substitutes it there and changing it to something else. You can also use a find and replace to substitute as well. And that now brings me to this one where we need to find the first name because we need to combine the find and left, either left or right or length. Let's see what we can do, how we can find the first name here. What we know about all these email addresses is that, the first name is right before the @ So I think the first thing we need to do is find the position of the @ and then we can probably find the first name using left function. So if we do equal to, let's find the position of the @ find, we find text, though we want to find, before I swap it again, find text, we want to find @ within this text here. Okay. So @ here is on position 4. I'm going to drag down. And then I want to find the first name. I know the first name is before the @ and I can't just use the left because they all have different characters.
Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, why is it saying my @ is invalid?
Where?
So I'm searching for art. Okay, it has because
you have to put that. If you are typing it out, you have to put it. When you open the dialog box, it puts it for you. You put that what's it called? The quote
semicolon.
Semicolon. So you put it for you when you use the dialog box, the function box. But if you are typing it in, you have to always remember to type that in.
Okay, thank you.
So I found my @ position, and I know that Joe, the first name is just anything before the @ That's what I want to bring in. So I can use the left, if I use the left function and do equal to left, open a bracket, click on the cell, comma. So I know that my @ is number 4 here. So that means anything before the 4, that's what I need to bring in, right? So I can just say it will be, so I need to bring the first 3. It will be 4, this minus 1, and close the bracket. Yeah. So I have to reduce minus 1 from this to bring in my names. Did you get that?
No, please, can you do it again, please? Thank you.
So I'll find my position of the @ Did you get up to that point?
Yeah.
Yes. And I know that my first name is before the @ So in this case, my first name, Joe, the characters will be 3 because my @ is 4. For Anna, the characters will be 6 because my @ is 7. So I need to do a function. I need to use a left function. And This is select my text, comma. Now I need to put in the number of characters. And because they vary, I can't just put, there's no point, I can't be counting and start putting the numbers one by one. That is why I've brought out the position of my @. So what I need to do is use the position of my @. So click that and -1 from it. And then close the brackets and enter. And I just need to drag that down. And those are the first names. If we need to bring out the if we need to bring in the email provider, let's see what we can do. Email provider. We need to bring in the email provider. We have the position of our @. What can we use to bring in the email provider?
It's going to be after the position of the @.
It's after the position of the @.
Yes.
So should we use mid or right?
I would say we should use the right.
We should use the right.
The right, yeah,
Okay.
right.
So if we do equal to right, our text, comma, what will be our characters?
I think it will be 4 plus 1.
Yeah, it will be 4 plus 1. Plus. No, if it's 4 plus 1, so that's 5. Let's see what it's gonna bring in. So that's 5. It's only counting 5 from the right. So that's not gonna work. Why don't we find the length? Why don't we find the length of this character? So if we do length, so we know the length of this is 15. Our @ is in 4. So we can use a mid, or we can even still use right, actually. And we can use a mid. If we use right, so we are saying from the right. So our length is 15. We're saying from the right, we want this 15 minus 4. Let's see what that gives us. Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah.
If we use mid, let's try mid. So if we use mid, we need to, so we'll put that text, and we need to know where to start from. So we already have 4, right?
Yeah. So we are supposed to start from 5.
4 plus 1. Yeah. So it will be this plus 1. Okay, comma, that's our starting point. And then how many characters do we need? It would be, our characters will be 15 minus 4. So it would be this minus this. Yeah, I need to put another bracket. Yeah. So that worked as well. So we just have to think about how to combine, these things to achieve the results you want. So you might have to use different formula to achieve. But the good thing is once you put it in once, all you need to do is drag it all the way down. And then you have your clean formatted or extracted data. Okay. Let's quickly do.
This requires a lot of practice to get used to.
Yeah. There are things that you just need to use it, and just just the same way that we've taught you how to use the mid, and you just try and error. You just try, combine different ones, and then you get to where you're going.
Yeah.
Number value. let's see. Sometimes you get characters that are formatted as text. And you might need them in numbers, because if you try to add up to sum of numbers that are formatted as text, it doesn't see it as numbers. So your sum will not work. So you need to actually convert this text to numbers. You can actually do this. Click on the cell beside it, this error message beside it, and convert to number. But what I know is that if you have a large data and you select all that and you click convert to number, it can be very slow because you actually see it converting one by one all the way down. So the fast way to do it, there are two ways to do it. You can either use a number value function, which is equal to number value, open a bracket, click on the text, close the bracket, and it converts this to number for you. Or you can, a simple way to do it is multiply it by 1, equal to this, multiplied by 1, and it converts it to number. So you can use the number value, you can convert it by the side, you can use the number value, you can multiply it by 1.
Okay, I wanted to ask, because there's sometimes maybe this number now that came out as a text, someone might be writing 580. In place of 0, he writes O, which sometimes you can't differentiate if it's a number or an alphabet. Is there any way you can filter such data?
I don't know, because for that one it's a text, you can never convert it to a number. So let's see.
Okay.
Okay. Is value. So someone has written this as O. Now this will always be a text. You cannot convert it to number, because it can literally be it's O. It's not something. I don't think
I've been rushing at it for a while.
I'm not sure there's a way to pick this out. Apart from the fact that any formula you use, any number formula will not work on it, and it will probably give you an any. So apart from actually really picking it out like this, I don't know. I don't know of any other way to find this.
No, she's not supposed to drop. Sorry, you have to know.
The last one we're going to look at
and I'll upload it first to YouTube, and I'll now drop it on the Telegram chat. Okay. Thank you so much.
The last one we're going to look at is absolute. So sometimes you have some negative numbers and you just want to, if you add this up, for instance, it will give you minus 24. But sometimes you just want to add the numbers. You don't want the signs to affect it. What you need to do is use absolutes.
Can I send you a message? It's a call pastor to you and find out
Sorry, yeah.
What call person one? And
can you mute yourself if you're not contributing to the class, please? Thank you. So you use absolute and you click on the number and close the brackets, and it gives you that number without any sign. And if we add it, if we sum this up, it gives us something different. So sometimes you need to you want to add absolute numbers. You might be doing something that you just need to add absolute numbers and you don't want the signs in. And you can use the ABS function. I'll quickly touch on the second tab, which is the date and the time. So you want to put in today's date. The function to use is equal to today, open a bracket, close a bracket, enter. And then you have today's date. If you want to put in the date and the time, function is equal to now, open and close a bracket, and it gives you the date and the time now. Bear in mind, if you save this document and you open it tomorrow, it will always give you the current date and the current time. But if you want to add code, the dates and you don't want it to change, maybe when you open it tomorrow, then you use your control and your semicolon button. And for the time, control and colon. No. Control.
Please, can you come again with the
Control
today's date? Because
shift.
I didn't actually get that, please.
Today's date is just a simple formula. So you put in today, open a bracket, close a bracket. That's the formula for the dates. So it's equal to today, open a bracket, close the bracket, enter.
Okay.
So for instance, maybe you have like a data, and maybe you have some invoices. You're working with invoices and you want to know the due date. You want to calculate how many days is left. You can put today's date on your data and just reference that, so that every day you go in, today's date is updated. So you know that when you had 5 days left yesterday, today you have 4 days left. So it would always update. And the time is another simple formula, equal to now open a bracket, close the bracket, and then you got the time and the date.
What about the hard code?
Sorry?
The hard code date
The
and time.
hard-coded one. So if you just want to put a date, you don't want it to keep changing. Because if you close this document today, and open it tomorrow, it will be tomorrow's date that is there.
Yeah, the current
So
date.
it will keep updating, yeah. But if you want it hard-coded, you just need to press your control button and your semicolon.
Okay.
So that's what I have. I have it on the document. Just press your control button down. So this one will be control shift and the colon.
Okay.
And then you have it hard coded. So that is not going to change.
Okay.
Okay, that's where we're going to stop today. Please go over what we've done and just use it, because the more you practice, the more you know it. And we would come back next week. We'll do some text columns, some more data, and then we'll look at I think we'll look at some class exercises next week. And if you have something that you want us to look at, let me know, and then we can look into it.
No problem. Just please, should make the video available, because the beginning of the class I didn't really get it. So probably when I go through the video, I'll get everything by myself.
Okay.
The VLOOKUPs and those index and match. I wasn't focusing then anymore.
Okay, I think someone is recording.